All right, boys, we are about to do it. We are going to be using the new duo Elizabeth and Meliodas of the Holy War in versus all of the demonic beasts in the game. Now, this is going to be a very hard video to do, just because if you don't know, most of the demonic beasts videos feature a Elizabeth or a Meliodas. So trying to use these characters not together in terms of like building a team is going to be very difficult. But for you guys, I'm going to definitely do it just so you guys can see the PvE potential of these characters. And again, we have them 5 out of 6, so you definitely can see a lot more damage coming out of these characters. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe again. And like usual, again, we're just gonna be running through all the demonic beasts. The first team is gonna be the goddess team, of course, versus the bird. All right, boys, so here we are, pretty much about to be doing the versus all demonic beasts video. Now, usually with all these videos, usually I just go over all of the demonic beasts using the new character, whichever it may be, using whatever team possible that I can pretty much create. Now, this one is going to be a little bit harder to make teams for, just because, again, you are using Elizabeth and Meliodas, which if you played enough demonic beasts, you will know that those two characters are actually both really good separate. All right, you have the LR Elizabeth, which is a really good demonic beast character, and then you also have DK Meliodas, which is another very powerful demonic beast character. So having those two together is going to make team building a little bit harder for yourself. But right now I'm just using a simple goddess team for the bird. Usually for these videos, I really don't try to go over the gears like that, just because for the most part, it's never nothing too special. Usually I just run like attack, crit damage on my characters and stuff like that. Again, my stats are usually be shown as well at the beginning as well too, so it kind of give you a good idea of what I'm running. Obviously, it all depends on your constellation as well too, because again, if you have lower constellation or box CC and stuff like that, obviously your attack or HP is going to be way lower than mine for most of my characters. So you also got to keep that in mind whenever you're building these type of teams. But yeah, when it comes to Meliodas and Elizabeth, it's going to be very hard to team build around them, because again, you're using two of the best characters in demonic beasts, and you're kind of forced to use them on one character. So your team building becomes a little bit very unfortunate, which I feel like with this kind of makes them very hard to use. Again, if you don't have Liz or Meliodas, then these characters can seem pretty good for people who don't have them, right? Because if you don't have them, then obviously they can become a decent replacement. Obviously, when it comes to a character like LR Elizabeth, again, she literally is made for demonic beasts, so it kind of is a very hard to replace a character like herself. But this Meliodas is a very powerful character, so you're able to pretty much get through a lot of the easier demonic beasts like the bird very easily, especially if you're utilizing her talent system, which you can pretty much use throughout the battle as much as you want. Well, not as much as you want, but in terms of like the cooldown, it's usually like a 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, we just pretty much get through the demonic bird pretty easily, and that was pretty simple. Goddess team is really good, so it's pretty easy to do that. And next one we're going to is the deer. Now this one, as you can see, I swapped into a demon team. The team that you really want to try to build off of the Liz is going to be Liz Melly is going to be the demons or the goddess team, so you get your full passive. Obviously, you could run sins, but as you can see with the aura that's beneath my character feet, that will allow you to get more additional abilities, which is you running a full demon team or either running a full goddess team. Sins don't have anything, so those are the team that you really want to try to avoid. Obviously, if you can and you have to be using sins, you can definitely use sins It's just that you're going to be a more lacking of team than if you just ran a full demon or goddess team. Again, nothing wrong with that if you run sins. Again, just run what you can possibly do. And again, with the deer, we're running like a lot of demons. Again, the deer was kind of hard to build a team with, just because again, you are using you have to use the color wheel characters, so you have to use red, green, blue attribute characters. And unfortunately, with this Elizabeth, she is light. They are light, so it's gonna be very hard for you to use them. Especially on this part right here where you have to do the color wheel first, which means you have to go with the color wheel, and then afterwards you can then attack with the Liz. I guess the cool thing about the demon team is that you obviously get to proc a little bit of chip damage on the boss, which could help against when you're dealing with damage cap and stuff like that. It make it a lot easier for you to get through that damage cap. Because again, damage cap is always really annoying to deal with when it comes to playing the demonic beast. So it's nice with the demon team, you get to chip it a little bit. So that is going to be really nice. And again, Gelda is a really good character too, because again, you can just deal high amounts of damage with Gelda because she just gains so much HP. And then because of her, you also gain a little bit more extra base stats for your demons. So again, she's a really good pickup. If you want to use it on the deer. Again, you can use other types of characters as well too. Like I was debating on using Demiurge maybe, but I thought about Demiurge and I was like, probably not gonna be as great because of the not being able to debuff. So it's all going to be dependent on what you can build. Again, you could also use goddess team as well too. Obviously you have to use the lesser goddesses like a blue Tarmiel, a red Sariel, and then probably what green Ludociel maybe, if you really wanted to. Or you can use like blue Margaret. That's why I just went with demons, because the demons has a better roster of characters that can deal damage by themselves. While if I would use the goddess team, then it probably would have been the best in terms of damage, and Meliodas and Liz would have probably been my only damage dealer. Dang, I gotta come up with a combo name for them. Probably Me Liz or Mel Liz. Liziotis. Be like, yo, Liziotis. But yeah, this team was really fire. Obviously we using Green Chandler, which that just shows you how less of characters that they released that are new names. Because again, the only other characters that was like green was like all like Meliodas that was actually usable. Obviously you had like characters like Monspeed, but let's be honest, Monspeed wasn't going to do much for us. So yeah, Netmar will definitely have to get into more so of the other either races or new name characters for these specific races. Because I was struggling trying to build a team for goddesses and demons when doing this video. But you see, we just dealing decent amount of damage. Now we were able to do the color wheel, because last time I couldn't do it because again I had no blue cards. And the shield kind of helps you out in terms of tanking damage from the deer. So that shield is gonna be really helpful for players who kind of be sometimes dying to these attacks. Again, being able to get the shield is really nice, because then you can proc your shadow sword as well at the same time, which means you can just deal high amounts of damage whenever you want to or plan to do so. And then remove buffs, and then we just kill right there, getting rid of the deer, which is really nice. All right, this time it's gonna be the dogs. Now the dogs, I went with the demons again. Like I said before, goddess team isn't the best in terms of this, just because again your list of roster characters isn't that crazy. I mean, I could have probably used goddesses, but again, you're dealing with the dogs, which you need a character that can make you immune to flame debuffs. So that's why I went with Melascla, because Melascla makes you immune to ignite debuffs. I could have probably maybe used goddess team, probably. And the goddess team I probably would say will be really good is probably you'll run like Meliodas and Liz, Mael, Blue Margaret, and probably Red Sariel. That would I probably say would be a good goddess team if you want to try to tackle the dogs. But again, I really don't recommend it just because again, I just think that pretty much the best team for the dogs is going to be like the human team. Again, it all depends on what you got in terms of your box though, obviously. But I feel like the human team is just probably like the best team just because you have a character like Thonar who is pretty much made for it. And yeah, that kind of defeats the purpose of running a full goddess team. Obviously, if you only have as a goddess team, then obviously I recommend using Mael, the LR Margaret, and Sariel. That could be a really good team. You just gotta keep cleansing the ignites when it gets out of control. That's probably my only advice. As you can see right here, we're just trying to push for our ultimates. Hopefully we don't get frozen again when dealing with this. And luckily we got multiple AoEs, so we're able to get rid of both dogs at the same time. So four powerful AoEs gave us enough damage to get rid of both of the dogs at the same time, which is really nice for us. Usually when it comes to the dogs, you just want to try to get rid of the dogs as fast as possible. So usually you want to use the highest damage dealing cards you got. And right here, I kind of got unfortunate as I didn't kill. Probably if I would have used Yell the AoE, I would have killed, or even waited until Estrosa had the last attack. I probably could have killed. But it actually was a good choice on my part because it gave me enough chance to stall for my cards and get rid of some of these dead cards. Because I had a whole bunch of Melascla cards. Because again, I have the artifact card set where you want to have 5 gauge because you don't want to get frozen. So gives me enough opportunity to use that. And again, right now we just pretty much getting rid of cards, because usually my best character is going to be my Liz Melly. So if they cannot get frozen a million times, I could at least got rid of the dogs a lot faster. It's just that I kept getting frozen, so I had to keep on trying to get them out the way. But again, we didn't take really much damage because of my shield. So with this, pretty much gonna be GG. And that is going to be us versus the dogs. Again, the dogs, really fun with the demons. Obviously, humans is way better and probably better with goddesses. Now, if you see my team right here, you're probably wondering yourself like, yo, Marilli, why do you have Matrona on your team? And the reason why I have Matrona on this goddess team is because you need a buff removal character for floor 2. And guess what, guys? The only buff removal character that is a goddess is Elizabeth. But guess what? I'm using Melly and Liz duo. So guess what? I can't even use them. And those are literally the only good characters. Now you might be saying, yo, Marilli, why you just didn't use demons? But guess what? The only good stance removal demon is DK Meliodas. So yeah, that's why I said these characters, both being unusable for your team is gonna be pretty much a pain. Just because again, we've had years on the top of years of these characters being built by Netmarble each year, being greater and stronger each year. So the fact that now we're forced to not even use them on this type of team is kind of unfortunate. Because now we're looking at, yo, we need more new name characters that does the same thing they used to do, or even better. Because right now, I can't even... I'm using a weird team, okay, guys? I'm using a weird team. Again, I already know a lot of people are going to question the team on like why I'm using Matrona, but I'm going to ask you guys again. If you can tell me the goddess character that can remove stance that isn't... Not remove stance. That can remove buff that isn't Liz, I'm all open ears. Or if you can tell me the demon character that can also remove stance like DK Meliodas, I'm all ears. Because there isn't a character. And that's why I'm using Matrona. So don't question it. Again, it works pretty much fine. Obviously, that's the thing, like Margaret's and Mael don't really need to have a full goddess team. Well, technically Mael does need to have a full goddess team for the I think the immunity, or it's either immunity or damage reduction he gives if you have a full goddess team. I just know Margaret gives like base stats per goddess you have on the field and gives it to that specific ally. So I know that she pretty much doesn't really need she doesn't really need to have a full goddess team. You want a full goddess team to get more base stats, but you technically don't need to. But yeah, see, because I was going to be using Freya, but I remember Freya does not have a buff removal, so pretty much useless, which is not fun for me. But yeah, guys, I am using Matrona just because, again, there's no other better option, unfortunately, for me. I wish it wasn't the case, but yeah, unfortunately. I forget, did I even I might have to double check my floor 3 just because I think I had a reset on floor 3, so I might have to cut a little bit. But obviously with this one is pretty easy. Again, Matrona, the good thing about Matrona is that you're able to take away ult gauge if they have a level 2 or higher card, which is very helpful because ult gauge removal is very nice against the demonic beast. So if you ever get a chance to, you're able to pretty much get rid of their ult gauge, which means they can't ult, which means instead of them attacking 3 times, they're only attacking twice. So that's going to be really good for us. See right there. Now they're only going to be attacking twice, which again, that is going to be really good. And technically right now we having 2 healers because Matrona heals as well, depending on her diminished HP. So yeah, that is going to be that one, and I'm probably going to have to cut because I'm pretty sure I had to reset floor. All right, so I had to cut it a little bit because I had to reset floor 3. I forgot that I reset floor 3 on this video. Usually I pre-record everything and then I speed up the gameplay. That's why you see that the gameplay or the audio sounds a little bit weird, because it is sped up even double. So you see 3 times speed right now is being activated. If I'm doubling the speed right now, it's supposed to be looking like 6 times speed, which, as you can see, the video still is pretty long, even with the most of the Demonic Beast videos being sped up. This one was a little bit tricky and hard to do, just because, again, we are facing off against this guy who doesn't really debuff you as much. So it was kind of hard to like play against it. Usually what you want to try to do is, I would say, try to get Mael ultimates as soon as possible, just so you can get that damage reduction going for your team, and so your Matrona can tank a little bit better, because he will go after Matrona, and then that is where the issue happens, where dealing with Matrona dying is what is the issue. And you see, like right there, I almost died. But because I have high box CC, that's why I say, like you guys are watching me do this video, but I would not recommend you using Matrona for this, okay? Or this Eliz team. Just because, again, it's not worthwhile for you. And again, you're going to have some mishaps happen if you try to do this team. So again, it's not really a recommended team. But if you're able to get through that phase, then it's going to be pretty much GG after this. Because again, the boss can't get through you. Especially because if you can keep spamming your Mile ultimate, you're going to get infinite damage reduction for yourself. Or if you get like your heals for Margaret with your cleanse card, you're going to be in a very good position. So we're going to ult right here. I probably shouldn't need to use my shield. That was kind of like a waste, but it's all good. So with that, we're gonna probably just heal up. What I should have did is kept my shield for this one right here, just so I could have had like my shadow shield, or not, shadow sword again, or sword of judgment. I keep thinking of a demon team. It's sword of judgment. Okay, we go for that. And this, and you can see like he's at 25%, but because I can't deal his HP, I can make his HP lower. He's gonna keep having at least a little bit of percentage left over, which is the unfortunate thing. So we throw over our shield again, which is really nice for us because we get to heal up. The ults. And unfortunately for us, we missed a crit. But we were still able to knock down a percentage of HP. And because I'm 5 out of 6, my ultimate should pretty much one-shot right here. Because we're dealing additional damage. So yeah, that was GG. That was Nidhogg. And we got a card. Alright, so this time we are going to be doing the squirrel. You can see I'm going through my gear. Now this one is a little bit different from all the other ones where you actually need crit resist gear. You can see I'm over here swapping to my crit resist gear. This is probably the only time you're going to see gear in this video. Just because all the other ones are literally the other ones are all obvious. And right here you see I'm using red Megilda because again, with the demonic beast, usually want to use LR Elizabeth, but because we're using the duo Meliodas and Elizabeth, our team comp has to be a little bit different. And the only good other support character is Megilda. Now I could have also ran what's those two characters, Merlin and Jelly King or something like that. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I kind of want to make this video a little bit easier for myself, so I didn't run Jelly King or Merlin for this. That's why I just kept Valenti and Glocks, because those are the two better characters. Obviously, if you have nothing but those two characters, then obviously you can go with a King, Jelly King, and Ragnarok Merlin type of team. But if you do have Valenti and Glocks, use them. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. If you have those two, use them. And you can see what Megilda isn't a bad character. It's just that she doesn't have updated stats. That's why a lot of people use LR Elizabeth, because again, she does have updated stats. And again, she's a character who's pretty much made for demonic beasts. So that's why most players just use her instead. Again, you can see I'm running in Megilda pretty fine for my account, and I'm getting through floor 1 pretty easy. Again, it's just floor 1 as well too. Usually floor 1 you can use some of these niche characters. With this I just pretty much use Glock's card. Now, the only thing I would say is that you have to be careful between Valenti and Megilda, because if you use Valenti attack cards, you got to remember that you do cleanse. Like right here, I misplayed so hard because guess what? I cleansed all the debuffs and I couldn't even heal up right there. That's why I say you got to be very careful when using Megilda plus Valenti, because you will not be able to heal if you don't have a debuff on you. And you can see right there, luckily he didn't target Megilda again, or I would have been pretty much dead. And with this, we will be able to rock him to the left side, which means he's gonna lose his damage cap. That's also one bad thing about Megilda, is that her healing is based on if you get debuffs on you, which on the floor 3, he doesn't really debuff you as often. If I can be honest, he doesn't debuff you as often, so Megilda never really is good on floor 3. That's also a big thing. But that's gonna be pretty much the end of the video. As you can see right there, is almost the end. So again, hopefully you guys enjoy me using Melly, Liz, and the Demonic Beast. Again, we're just going through all the beasts together, and I'm only gonna do floor 1 just because I don't want to suffer. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is Melly, guys. I'm out. Peace.